You know the sensation. It's that tightness in your chest, a quiet, heavy fabric that seems to drape over your shoulders at the end of a long day. You know it is guilt. We often treat guilt as a single, uniform garment, something we just pull on whenever we feel we've missed the mark or fallen behind or disappointed someone that we care about. But not all guilt is cut from the same cloth. I've found that most of the distress my clients feel isn't actually caused by the situation themselves, but by the fact that they're wearing the wrong kind of guilt for the occasion. Some guilt is a necessary guide, a tailor's measurement that helps you align your actions with your values. Other guilt is simply a relic, a heavy, ill-fitting coat from an old season of your life that you've outgrown. And it's time to perform an audit on your conscience. Think of healthy guilt as the integrity hem of your character. It's functional, it's purposeful, and it keeps your life looking sharp. Healthy guilt is your signal from your internal compass. It occurs when you've acted in a way that contradicts your own personal standards. Maybe you spoke unkindly to a colleague, or you neglected a boundary that you said you would uphold. When guilt is healthy, it's specific. It points to a singular action, not your inherent worth as a person. It says, that choice didn't align with who I want to be, rather than I'm a bad person. This kind of guilt is incredibly useful because it comes with a clear set of instructions. Acknowledge the mistake, make amends if possible, and adjust your behavior moving forward. It's a temporary garment. Now, once you've taken the steps to repair the seams, the guilt naturally falls away. Toxic guilt, by contrast, is like wearing a garment that's 2 sizes too small, left over from a version of yourself that no longer exists. It's heavy, pervasive, and most importantly, it never actually leads to a solution. Toxic guilt is persistent, like this low-grade buzz of, I'm not doing enough, or I'm responsible for everybody else's happiness. Toxic guilt isn't about what you did, it's about who you think you are. And it often stems from old conditioning, expectations of parents or society, or past versions of yourself that convinced you that you had to be perfect to be worthy. You can't fix toxic guilt by being better or doing more because there's no specific action to mend. It's an endless cycle of self-critique. It doesn't help you grow. It just simply weighs you down, obscuring the silhouette of your true potential. So, how do you tell them apart when the pressure starts to mount? Well, it comes down to the result. Healthy guilt moves you toward repair and solution. In other words, it has a shelf life. Toxic guilt moves you toward paralysis and shame. And it feels like it's there permanently, like a state of being. Healthy guilt is specific. It says, I regret saying that. I will apologize. But toxic guilt is global. It says, I'm just a disappointment to everybody. Healthy guilt is transformative because it can inspire a change in habit. Toxic guilt is stagnant. It keeps you stuck in the same emotional wardrobe. So, if you suspect you're holding on to some heavy, toxic layers, don't worry. You don't need a total life overhaul. You just need to tailor your perspective. So here's how to begin restyling. First, do a measurement check. When you feel guilty, ask yourself, Is there a specific action I can take to mend this? And if the answer is yes, you're dealing with healthy guilt. Take the action, forgive yourself, and move on. But if the answer is no, and you just feel generally bad, you're looking at toxic guilt. Give yourself permission to throw that garment in the donation pile. Next, audit your expectations. Toxic guilt often comes from trying to live by someone else's style manual. Are you feeling guilty because you violated your values or because you failed to meet someone else's expectations? Remember, you're not responsible for managing the emotions or the reactions of other people. That's a heavy weight that was never meant for you to carry. And third, practice self-compassion. Self-compassion is like that steam iron that smooths out the wrinkles of a hard day. When you catch yourself spiraling into guilt, speak to yourself like you would to your best friend. Remind yourself that growth is a process. You don't have to be perfect to be worthy. You just have to be intentional. I mean, there's going to be times when you make mistakes because we're all human. And those moments aren't failures, they're opportunities to refine your internal world. Healthy guilt is just a reminder that you're a person with values and a conscience. That's something to be proud of, not something to fear. You've outgrown the toxic guilt that used to keep you small. You don't need to rebuild your entire life to feel lighter. You just need to stop wearing the pieces that don't fit you anymore. When you let go of the shame that doesn't belong to you, you make room for the grace that does. Growth isn't dramatic, it's tailored. So if you need help with it, give me a call and we can restyle it. I'm Roberta Fernandez, your mind stylist.